we're going to the library today. But first, I'm gonna attempt to get ready. Okay. Okay, I did get ready, but yeah, I haven't been able to wear makeup and there's a whole lot of other health stuff going on. In fact, I'm having a snack before going to the library, but I wanted to share with you that what we're doing today. The goal today is to find a couple of books for the Southern Book Readathon that is hosted by Booklover Amanda. I will link her announcement video down below just in case you haven't heard of it. But I'm going to go in, and last minute I decided I wanted to join along in the read along, and so, or the reading challenge. I think I always call challenges read alongs. Anyways, there's a bingo board and you can do one prompt, you can do all prompts, you can just try to like make a bingo thing. It's really, she's leaving it all up to you. I keep looking around because I thought that it would be less busy. It's such a beautiful day outside, but the library is a hot spot. It's every time I think there's not gonna be anybody, it's busy. Everybody's here. So let's go in. I'll see if I can get any footage in there, but I'm gonna poke around and see if I can find a couple of books that may fit the challenges, and I thought I'd bring you along with me. Okay, it is the following day and I have my library books here. I just came home and was kind of wiped out from the trip. It was like I said, a lovely warm day. So we came home, hung out in the backyard a little bit with the family, and then I called it a day. So let me pull up the reading challenge page. Honestly, what happened when I got into the library was that I was looking at the prompt, the bingo card. I'll try to put a picture up here for you. But I was looking at the bingo card, and then I think I just got like overwhelmed and excited with all the books, and I just started picking books off the shelf. So I'll share with you what I got, and we'll see if I can make any of these match the prompts. The only one that I may not have found is probably the mystery one, but I knew going in that was going to be a little bit difficult for me because I don't read a lot of mysteries. But maybe we can tweak one of these to kind of fit in there. We'll see. So I think I told you. If I did, we'll just go into the books. If I didn't, let me tell you some of the prompts here. Bless Your Heart, an emotional or heartwarming book. Sweet Tea, a book with something sweet on the cover or a sweet story. Hot as Blue Blazes, a book with a hot setting. Heavens to Betsy, a mystery or thriller that will shock you. That's the one I think that I might have trouble with. All the Fixings, a book in multiple genres, I almost said generations. Chicken and Dumplings, a book that you think will be a comfort read. Hey Y'all, a book with more than one point of view. And Howdy Partner, a book featuring friendship or family. And then there is a free space read, which she marks down as Southern Hospitality. Okay, so let's get into it. I have The Bookseller's Promise by Beth Weissman. This one, if you caught my April, what I read in April, I think it came out before this one. If not, stay tuned. It'll come out after it. But this was part of the Amish bookstore novel trilogy. I read the third book, not realizing that it was a trilogy, and then was excited to see that the library had this book in that followed along the series. This may be the second book, not even the first book. Apparently, I'm just going to read it backwards. No, this is the first book in the trilogy. So I'll have to double check again if the library has the second book, but I picked this one up. This one takes place in the same Amish town, which is why I picked it up, because I recognized some of the names. Yvonne Wilson makes the trek from Texas to Indiana with just one goal in mind: to convince Amish man Jake Lance to sell her client a rare book from his collection. But Jake is as strong-willed as Yvonne. On the eve of his grandfather's death, Jake vowed to never sell the book, and he intends to keep that promise, but he can't say more than that, having never read it and not knowing why it was so dear to his gross daddy. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's his grandparent. Eva has loved Jake since he hired her to work in his bookstore years ago, but he doesn't seem to notice she's blossomed into a beautiful woman. When Yvonne shows up and seems like she might turn Jake's eyes, Eva suggests she and Jake should read the book together. So what happened after surprises them all, and the book leads the trio deep into mysterious questions about life and death, love and loss, and the impenetrable purposes of God. The next one I picked up was Queen Bee by Amalie Howard. This one says, my younger self, the gullible green lady Ella, wouldn't have had a beggar's hope of taking on the filthy rich and lofty Tun or Poppy Landers. Hence my elaborate and entirely Machiavellian plot for revenge. There was room for only one queen, and that would be me. So, intriguing. We'll see. Like I said, I think I was hoping that would be the mystery one. Maybe. Maybe it fits into multiple genres. I don't know. We'll find out. Then I found a whole Becky Wade section. I don't know if you caught that when I was walking you through the library, but I found like almost a whole shelf. I was very excited. I had to go back in and see which books I read, because I realized that I had read some Becky Wade digital books quite a number of years ago. So I'm still trying to make sure that my Storygraph is updated so that I have those books in there from years ago, because I didn't have Storygraph then. Anyways, I picked up one of the Misty River romance books, Stay With Me. And I don't think that I've read her Misty River series yet. I read a different series. This one says, loving her is a risk he can't afford and can't resist. What a fun job to think of these little like blurbs that go on the back of your books, right? Anyways, when acclaimed Bible study author Genevieve Woodward receives an anonymous letter referencing her parents' past, she returns to her hometown in the Blue Ridge Mountains to chase down her family's secret. However, it's Genevieve's own secret that catches up with her when Sam Turner, owner of a historic farm, uncovers the source of shame she's worked so hard to hide. Sam has embraced his own sorrow, his isolation, and his identity as an outsider. He's spent years carving out career success and peace of mind, yada yada. We find out what happens. Does that count as mystery? Do all these count as mystery? Because there's kind of some mystery in there. But again, I wonder if there's different point of views. Oh, it looks like there is. So this one may count for, hey y'all, a book with more point of view, if it doesn't count for the mystery one. This was on my to-be-read list. The Bound Bookshop of Maggie Banks by Shauna Robinson. I think that I saw this at the library the last time I went, but I already had several books, so I didn't want to take this one too, because I had quite the armful and I was sure I wasn't going to get through them all. So I added it to my to-be-read list, and then this time it was still there, so I picked it up. I believe this one follows Maggie Banks, and she works at a bookstore that has special rules. They only allow certain books in the bookstore, but because Bell Rivers Literary Society insist on keeping the bookstore stuck in the past, and Maggie is banned from selling anything written this century. Because of this, though, and probably some other factors, the bookstore is in financial, I don't want to say ruins, but it's hurting. And so Maggie kind of starts to sell books, I think, or run this book club on the down low, and books that are not keeping with the bookstore's century ban or what have you. So Maggie will have to decide what's more important, the books that formed a small town's history or the stories posed to change it all. And then lastly, I picked up Miss Austen by Jill Hornby. Again, I just was like picking random books up off the shelf, whatever like kind of looked appealing to me, and looking through them, and I went awry off of trying to pick books specifically for the readathon. So maybe this is just my pile of possibility. I am going to do the readathon. That is my plans. But I'll have to pull from the books that I have too on my shelf if I don't get, if these don't cover all the prompts. But again, we'll see. I don't know until I read the books. I don't know which books I'm going to read until I feel like reading them, and then I finish them. So stay tuned so you know if I read the books or not, I guess. This takes place though, and it seems like it follows the sister of our beloved Jane Austen. So this is about Cassandra Austen. It says she's lived alone, spending her days visiting friends and relations, and quietly, purposefully working to protect Jane's reputation. Now in her 60s and increasingly frail, Cassandra goes to stay with the Fowles of Kintbury family of her long-dead fiancé in search of a trove of Jane's letters, dodging her hostess and a meddlesome housemaid. Sorry, I can feel the light changing because there's a cloud going by. So, will Cassandra bear the most private details of her life to the world, or commit her sister's legacy to the flames? Moving back and forth in time between Cassandra's vibrant memories of Jane and the revelations found years later in her sister's letters, brilliantly imagined by Jill Hornby, Miss Austen is the untold story of the most important person. Miss Austen is the untold story of the most important person in Jane Austen's life. With extraordinary empathy, emotional complexity, and wit, Jill, finally gives Cassandra her due, bringing to life a woman as captivating as any Austen heroine. I thought it would just be fun to read this since I had been on a little bit of a Jane Austen retellings anyway kick. I finally read Pride and Prejudice, I believe last year. And I read part and listened to part on the audiobook. I did not expect that book to be so funny. I loved it, and so I keep reading these retellings of them, and now I need a Jane Austen collection of my own, but we're working on it. We're working on it in the budget, and meanwhile, I thought this would be a fun read from the library. So these are my books. Almost dropped them all. These are the books that I got from the library, and hopefully we'll read this month along with maybe a couple of others. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and going to the library with me. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up because it really helps me and the channel so much. And as always, if you don't know or you just need to be reminded, maybe the one to tell you you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. I really appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me. Thanks for watching.